Yeah, you gotta check that.
You what?
No, that was Gun Hill. No, that
Oh,
was,
okay. I
yeah,
thought you were saying you never seen Menace. I was like, don't just be disrespectful.
the disrespect is off the chain. No,
888 Shade 45 Friday night, Gangsta Girl Radio, Hot 107.9, DJ Drama and the affiliates. We got a special guest in the building. Yo, Larenz Tate, you don't age, bro.
Listen, man. Yo, Drama.
What's the juice you and Pharrell are drinking, man? Can I get some,
it's
please?
some of that Benjamin Buttons juice, man. Yo, I feel very vibey in here, man. I came in here without my shades.
Right.
But then I feel very vibey in here, man. I was like, let me throw the shades on.
Okay.
I'm in with Drama now, but let me take them off, man. I don't want to be on no Hollywood.
It's cool.
With you, man.
Nah.
No, it's all good, bro.
What's up, my brother? Welcome, man.
Life is good, man. I appreciate you having me, man. I was like, I gotta go holler at my man Drama.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got the culture, everything is waving over this way. So I said, let me come rock with you, bro.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So off camera, we was talking, and you told me you was with Chris yesterday.
Yeah,
you was with Luda yesterday.
Correct.
And he mentioned to you, yo, you got to go see Drum.
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah,
come
yeah.
over to the spot.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, yo, man, before I get on a bird and go back to the West Coast, man, I definitely want to reach out to Drama and do something. He's like, yeah, you got to do that for the culture, man.
Right.
100%. He's the guy, and you definitely want to stop through and rock with him.
Nah, most definitely.
Yeah, Chris got love. So.
Yeah, that's your man. I mean, I feel like a lot of times, when I see you down here, it has to do with Chris. Like,
right.
Whenever he's doing an event, you're on it, and
Yeah.
you're coming to the city. I always wind up being out of town, too. I always miss you, man.
Yeah,
I be
man.
like,
I'm like, yo, where you at? No, but he does a lot for the city, and anytime that he can bring his celebrity friends or people that can draw attention to what he's doing in the community, a lot of people come on out and support, and I've been doing it, rocking with him for a long time.
Right.
And, as of late, I've been in Atlanta, independent of Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, because I
have you been shooting here?
Yeah, I was doing a
Okay.
TV show, man. That's actually dropping out.
Hold on. By the way, this is going to air next Friday, so the show have come out on Tuesday.
Okay.
It comes out on 12th, so this airs on the 15th.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
cool. All right.
So I've been down here working on a project that finally is out, and it's on NBC.
Right.
And that's, like I said, independent of Luda, man. I was able to really spend a lot of time in Atlanta, and I love it, man, because I've been coming down here for years.
For years.
Yeah, man. One of my first true introductions to Atlanta was with my guy Jermaine Dupri, JD, man, when I was like 18 years old. I mean, during the Freaknik years.
The good old days.
The good old days. And, JD would take me to like all of the hot spots, clubs and restaurants, and of course, the nightlife,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The turn up, the late
Sound of
night.
Magic City.
Yeah, 100%, you know what I'm saying? Stripper pose, you know what I'm saying? But no, we had a good time, and since then, I've always loved the energy of Atlanta. There's a lot of things going on with regards to Hollywood.
Absolutely.
Tons of productions, whether it's movies.
It's like the new Hollywood.
Yeah, man. It's like TV shows, man. And we were able to shoot our project down here.
Did y'all
as well.
do the whole project down here?
Yeah, we did the pilot all the way throughout the series. So it's about 10 episodes.
And the show's called Game of
Silence. Yeah, it's a Game of Silence. It's on NBC. We're out on Thursdays at 10 p.m., 9 Central. And it's an hour drama, no pun intended, that is about these childhood friends who hadn't seen each other 25 years. Early on in their life, they were a part of a youth, well, not a part, they went to a youth detention center, man. And in that youth detention center, man, a lot of crazy stuff went on, and they
Right.
kept this secret. They made a pact never to tell what happened. And so after that, as adults, that past resurfaces, and they decide to right the wrongs of that past.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yo, we got to figure a way to address this.
Mm-hmm.
But one friend wants to do it in a legal way because he's a lawyer. Another
Okay.
friend is like, well, let's take the law in our own hands. My character is Sean, who's sort of in the middle of everybody. He's the guy that keeps everybody together. He's all about loyalty and unity. And he's like, no matter what we do, let's move together.
Okay.
So we ain't, messing things up. And he's a smart hustler. And I really like that because I got 2 brothers myself.
Right.
And I love that camaraderie. I love that brotherhood dynamic.
Both your brothers are in acting.
Yeah, they one is an actor. You guys probably seen Lamar in Barbershop and Don't Be a Menace. He played Pops and done a lot of other things. But my brother LaRon runs our production company.
Okay.
So we have Tateman Entertainment, and we're producing things from television to film to in the digital space.
Is the character that you're playing on the show similar to you, or is it?
Well, there's some similarities in the sense that he's a real loyal guy, and I'm a forward thinker as well. At the end of the day, how do we get things done?
Right.
And even with my brothers, I'm like, okay, we all have our own ways of getting from point A to B, but the reality is no matter what, we got to get to B. We can't stay on A. You know what I'm saying? Ain't staying on first base. We got to bring it home. So, I like that about this character in Game of Silence. And we, really peel back a lot of layers with each character. Even the people that you would assume are the bad guys, you get a chance to see who they are and start, connecting with them. And it's a really well-rounded show. It deals with, obviously friendship and loyalty, a little heartache, but it's balanced with, love and justice and redemption. So it's really cool, man. It's got a little corruption going on. It's interesting.
I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a time in the space within Hollywood where, it was like you would go from television to film, and that was, once you got to film, you were at the top of the food chain.
Correct.
And now, and I'd say in the last, decade or so, a lot of people who have careers in film respectably go to television for outlets, and television has become a platform that hasn't been looked at in the same as it doesn't feel like a downgrade as much as it may once have seemed in time in Hollywood. Being a film star yourself, and then going on to do a television series and so forth. We're watching the same thing with Empire and Taraji and Terrence and so forth.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Hollywood at one point, movies are bigger than life. And so when you did TV, there was 2 different kinds of businesses or two different kinds of careers. You couldn't be a TV actor and a film star. It just didn't bode well. But now you are able to do a combination of them because a lot of filmmakers are now doing TV shows. They're directing TV shows. There's a lot of producers that have come to television. There's a lot of actors, as you mentioned, that now are on TV because you can live a lot longer and really stretch the creative narrative out as opposed to into the movie and out in the movie. I mean, and it broadens your audience in a way that sometimes people may not want to go pay to see your movie, where they can see you in the comfort of their own homes. And so TV is just, some of the writing is just getting better.
Right.
Like, we got great people on this show, Game of Silence. Like, we got the people who created CSI. We have people from Friday Night Lights and Parenthood. We got a really good group of people. The director directed the original Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the Swedish version, like a real filmmaker. Okay. So you got people that are coming in to do things in television. I haven't seen the
Swedish version.
Yeah, it's heavy. Okay. Like the Swedish version is official.
Okay.
Arguably better than the American one. But I feel like I tend to lean towards cable television as an actor. I did a TV show with Dennis Leary called Rescue Me, where we played firemen. I also worked with Don Cheadle on House of Lies, and this show felt very much so like a cable like show.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm happy to be doing television. At one point, I was stuck in that whole artistic vibe, like y'all only do movies, and I have my boys like Omar Epps, who was on House, and my man Mekhi Phifer, who was on ER forever. They was like, yo, bruh, what's happening? And I would go over to their house, and I'm like, yo, they got a new wing over at this side. They done blew out walls, and I said, okay, I got the memo late. Let me just let me give it, but it's also good. It's just a lot more diversity going on in television, and there's a little bit more opportunities for us right now.
Do you guys have like a sort of camaraderie, like yourself, Makai, Omar, who can we maybe Morris, like you know,
Morris,
a group of actors who have kind of made it through generations to an extent, you know, and you look at the 90s and some of those classic films. I mean, you were really part of like a resurgence in black movies, and
right.
you know, to where we are today. Like, what's that like for you? And then what's that like for you and the guys, you know, to be a part of that elite class?
Oh, man, thank you. It feels great, man, because we were doing different kinds of things. And, you know, there wasn't just one genre. Right now, Hollywood seems to want to do one genre at a time. You can do comedy right now, or you can do faith-based, and you can do, you know, civil rights. But right now, that's what it feels like. Back in the days, we did a combination of them all. You can, you know, from Ice Cube doing movies to, you know, Omar, Pac. You just had all kinds of people. You know, Tyrese. It didn't matter. You had everybody doing different kinds of movies, and you know, we sit around. We talk about finding a way to do more of those movies, but it feels like the Hollywood, you know, people who are in those boardrooms have to be a little bit more open, way more open. And I think it starts with being diverse in those rooms. And to understand that we don't have to do one project or one genre at a time.
Right.
We definitely need to do more. Right. And, you know, mainstream moviegoers don't just represent one demographic. It's everything. So you gotta, they have to definitely be responsible and at least open-minded to understand that. And I talk to those guys. I mean, we sit around. I was on the phone with Omar Epps not long ago, and with Nia Long not long ago. I talked to Morris Chestnut. You know, we play ball sometimes together, and you know, I talked to Tyron Turner, who played Kane in the movie Menace with me. He played, you know, my right hand in that movie. We also talked to Jamie Foxx. We all sit around and try to figure out, like, what are some of the ways we can get back to doing those kinds of things. And, you know, it's important for us to do it.
Do you think the way the Oscars tried to handle the backlash with the jokes and, you know, some of the themes that they went into during the show with Chris Rock,
I mean,
was it awkward, or was it, you know, did they?
Well, it was, you know, that whole thing with Chris Rock being up there. You know, he was caught between a rock and a hard place because, you know, he has to service what he's doing, but also make sure that he's representing what the call of action, or to, like, at least point the finger or allow, you know, the Academy to look at themselves in the mirror.
Right.
Not necessarily point the finger, but just like, yo, this is a problem. This is an issue. But I feel like, as opposed to, you know, I thought the boycott idea, I understood it because it made them start thinking, okay, we got to make some changes. But beyond the Oscars itself, I'm always an advocate about saying, what about the people who make the movies and the TV shows to be even? You can't even have an award show without having the content.
Right.
So you got to go to the content. If there's not movies out there, we gotta continue to push for more diversity in the boardrooms, man, and do things differently, man. So we wouldn't have to boycott. You know what I mean?
Larenz Tate is here. When you go through the airport or walk down the street, what would you say the movie that comes up the most? If I had to take a guess, strictly from men, I would clearly say it would be Menace. Yeah. Possibly from women, it would be Love Jones. Is that?
You're absolutely right. I couldn't have said. There's no possibilities. It's 100%. You laid it out. Yeah, it's old dog. Yo, old dog. My God, man, that old dog is old dog, and then the women are like Darius Lovehall. Right. And you know, those are two, you know, characters, you know, roles that I was able to play that made a real impact on the culture. And at the time, I didn't realize that, but it was important movies for us, and I'm hoping that we can get back to doing those kinds of movies that are impactful. And, you know, I know that we can and we should.
That's deep. They just got finished shooting the Pac movie down here, actually.
Right, I heard about that.
Yeah, so that should be interesting.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got movies like Straight Outta Compton. That movie should have been done.
Right.
We should have heard about what was going on with NWA. We should have been, knowing what's going on in terms of a movie with regards to Death Row and all that stuff. Tupac, of course, they did the Biggie movie, and I'm hoping that people will go out and support that movie. I haven't heard much about it other than they filmed it down here. And
what was your relationship like with Pac?
Oh man, it was a brief, but it was important. A lot of people thought he was going to be in the role of O-Dog.
That's what, that was the myth.
That was the myth, but he wasn't. He was actually going to play the Muslim Sharif, and the Hughes brothers had a prior work relationship with him. They were friends.
Right.
They casted him because he was so intellectual and he's just super smart, and they wanted him to play the Muslim, but they had some creative differences with the script and the way, Pac wanted to play it. They wanted him to be a little bit more straight and narrow. I think he wanted to have a little bit more hood dynamic to it. Anyway, they just had a real bad issue, and it became bad blood because they got into altercation after the movie, and it just got really, really weird. But in the couple times that he did come to the rehearsal, it was great to have seen him there. I was a little starstruck. The fact that Tupac is sitting there and he's playing this role, and I had seen him in Juice, and I was like, wow. And I loved his music from Digital Underground. I'm like, yo, that's Tupac, right then, and I was mind blown by how he played Bishop. So I was looking forward to him being in that movie, and I was really disheartened when he wasn't, but we had to go and do what we need to do anyway. After that, I ran into Tupac, and we made it very clear we didn't have any differences, and we talked about doing something, and I felt like, dang, man, I really wish that we could have done something, man, and it just never happened. But I did have, like I said, that important connection with the brother, and God rest his soul, and I hope that his movie is well received, and his legacy lives on.
Larenz Tate is here. How old is your oldest?
My oldest son is 9,
okay.
and my middle is 8, and then we have a baby that's 2. I got all boys.
So they haven't gotten to the age of appreciation what their father has done filmography yet.
No, not yet. They haven't. No, they see posters in my office, and they come up in my office and kick in my door, and because I always keep.
They know Daddy's famous,
yes.
but they haven't. They're not ready for Menace yet.
They're not ready for Menace, and they always say, "Dad, when can we watch that movie with you on the Zoom? Because you're younger there." And then they see the one of their presidents, and I'm like, nah, because it's like we went to Vietnam and the crazy stuff we was doing. I was like, nah, y'all not watching that. And then Love Jones, and I'm like, yo, but. Dad is not kissing mommy in that, so I'm kissing another woman. There's a whole bunch of other things going on in Love Jones. So
how does your wife deal with that?
Man, she understands, man. She's a great supporter. I was obviously doing this before I met my wife,
okay.
So she understands the dynamics, and is
going forward.
Yeah, going forward. She understands. She gets it. I'm gonna play opposite women. I mean, and that's gonna continue. That won't stop. So, I don't pretend or assume that she's just 100% perfect with everything, but at the same time, it's part of my work. This is what I've been doing, and what we have at home, we have at home. What I got to do at work is what I'm doing.
Right.
Don't look at it. No, I'm just playing.
You've been a part of a couple generations of hip hop now.
Right.
What do you listen to now?
Man, I listen to some of everything, man. A lot of people,
new stuff.
I listen to new stuff, man. I'm in the gym. I want to hear some trap music a little.
Okay.
I want to get that popping. But I'm a guy. I like old school. I'm an old school guys. Marvin Gaye, Isley Brothers, OJ's. It's interesting when I'm in the car with my kids in the morning, because I'm the dad that takes I want people to understand the presence of a father.
Right.
So I take my children to school every morning. I got the book bags and I'm going, but sometimes they're a little turned up. They're a little lit in the morning, so I got to chill them out.
Okay.
We only listen to classical music in the morning. Give us some little, some Bach, it's a little Mozart, just to kind of even them out. Whether, sometimes they want to listen to other things, but I'm like, yo, y'all need to have a little something else. And then we throw some, when they get out of school, I throw a little old school music on for them so they know what's up.
Raise them up.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, it chills them out.
Love Jones 2, is that a reality? Is it?
We're we're definitely talking about it.
It's been 20 years.
Yeah, so people are like, you and Nia Long kind of look the
same,
like
yeah.
and what happened to that relationship. And I gotta say, this is relevant based on the fact that we see a lot of dysfunctional stuff on television when it comes to relationships. Right now with social media, it seems like dysfunction is now replace, or I should say classy, or something that's rooted in stability is replaced with dysfunction, and dysfunction is like the new norm.
You'd have to deal with that in the movie.
You know what I'm saying?
Social media would definitely have to play a part in Love
absolutely.
Jones,
so I felt like, this will be kind of interesting to see where they are and how they have either withstood the test of time in their relationship. And we've been talking about there's a real way to call of action to talk about doing this, get the right script, but also go to the studio and let them know that this is a viable piece of business.
Most definitely.
Because I can tell them, but it has to be something that really makes sense for the studio, and I believe it'll make money.
What would be hot is a reboot as well.
That's another option. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to. I think
we'd love to see a reboot of Menace as well.
But a reboot for Love Jones, I kind of feel like people would want to see the Darius and Nina in some capacity. You
Definitely,
know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
So, we've been trying to talk about that for a while.
Since you guys haven't aged, you couldn't play anybody's parents or nothing like that.
No, man. We definitely got to do something. Nia is still fine. I seen her. We talked. I was like, wow, Nene, what's really happening?
You got to touch a lot of fine ones, man. I'm going to leave that alone now.
Let's leave that alone. Drama.
Larenz Tate is here. Yo, man. You guys raised me. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Appreciate
Menace was one of my favorite movies growing up. When I met Omar, I told him it's because of that movie I became a DJ.
Oh wow,
Juice was the reason why I became a DJ.
Yeah, Q.
You know what I'm saying? So just for that, it's like when I think of everything I've accomplished, I'm like, man, if that movie would have never happened,
right,
I might not be here. After I got out of college, I actually got the opportunity. My father's best friend was cool with John Singleton.
Oh wow!
And they were working on Baby Boy.
Right.
So I went to L.A. While they were on the set for a good 3 weeks maybe, and I was a PA on Baby Boy.
Oh wow!
I remember when they first got Taraji's audition tape, and John was watching it like, oh, she's the one. Tyrese was there and everything.
That's
and
dope.
It was I remember they told me I was going to get $10 an hour, so I was like, bet. And then I realized I was working 12-hour days. So
listen, it's a grind, brother.
I had a gig to go do in London. It was my first time going overseas, so I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to come back after this gig and do this and everything. But I later told John those stories and Tyrese and everything. But no, you really come from a period that's very special to the culture, to African Americans, to film and everything. So it's great to still see you here doing wonderful, and you know what I mean. The new show is on right now.
Yeah, Game of Silence on NBC Thursdays at 10 p.m. 9 Central.
You're always welcome to come back too.
Yeah,
come
absolutely.
kick it with us.
Yeah, I want to hang out in the studio and chill, man, and see what really goes on in the studio. My guy,
Larenz Tate, y'all know what it is. 888 Shade 45. Holla at us.
Yay, my guy.
Good shit.